Hey there, you're watching the Dave Does channel. I am Dave Does, and this is Dave Does Reacts, and today I'm going to be checking out Periphery, and the song is Wildfire. I am aware of Periphery. I've never got into Periphery. I have listened to a couple of reactions to them over the years. Very technical band, very good musicians. Songs are very well structured, put together, but I've never found them as very accessible, so I've never really kind of gone, wow, this is something I want to get into, because I'm always looking for something hooky, and I find that it's really much someone who's really impressed by other like the instrumentation and stuff like that. This is a big for those bands, if I remember correctly, but that's what I remember about Periphery. So yeah, I am interested to watch this one, but I wanted to give you a context from previous memories of what I thought about this band on previous times. Now, obviously, whatever I say about this band or this particular video, it really doesn't matter. The most important thing is if you're a big fan of this band or you like this song, that you stick to that. No, don't listen to anyone trying to change your mind. It really doesn't matter, and it doesn't really matter what I say. It's a personal opinion, but I'll always try and be respectful of the artist in question. If you are interested in why I think I should even have a YouTube channel, and everyone's got a YouTube channel nowadays, but why do I do these videos? Well, I've been a musician for 30 odd years now, songwriter, drummer with the bands Nothing Gained, Tell Us Scribe. We're in the process of just finishing off our last few shows, and then, well, we are at the time of the recording, probably by the time you watch this, we may have finished those shows, and then we go off and start writing. We're kind of three or four tracks into the new album already, with a whole load of demos ready to be worked on, which will be done in 2026, with the idea that the new album will come out in 2027. But you can find our details on Spotify, YouTube. Please give us a search, give us a like if you like us. If you don't like us, absolutely fine, not a problem, but it's always great is if you can go and check us out and just do a search for us. As I said, Tell Us Scribe, Nothing Gained. And the reason I ask that is because I don't pause our videos. I'm going to be playing this video from start to finish, no interruptions. That of course means I will not be monetizing, and any revenue earned from this video will go to the band, and that's important. So yeah, let's do this. Periphery, Wildfire. I'll talk about it at the end. Let's all watch it together, see what's going on. Okay, Periphery and Wildfire. So, quick disclaimer, I have actually reviewed this video before, not on the Dave Does channel, but on the ADK Rock and Metal channel over with Andy and Kirk. As soon as it started, I was thinking, hang on, I recognise this layout. Is this the same song? And all I could remember about it was there was a bit in the song where they kind of just put their instruments down and they're going to go off and look at a monitor, and it's a bit of a weird midsection. And I said, if that's the video, then this is the same video. And of course, when it kicked in, I was like, yeah, okay, this is definitely the video. But that tells you a lot. While they were playing it, I'm like, I don't recognise this song. And I know, and I'm thinking, this is either very similar to something they've already done, or I have seen it, and it's just, there's nothing to really grab my attention as far as familiarity. Now, some people really like that. Some people like the idea of a song which has got, it just keeps you on your toes. You have to really work at it. You have to think about it. And I think that is definitely what this song's about. This, for me, is musical, where each band member has got their own thing. No one's just sitting there and just serving the song. So from the drums, vocals, the guitars, no one is sitting there just going, well, I'm just the back line and letting this piece showcase. So in some bands, like some rock bands, you'll have bass player will just be holding that line, drummer will just be like AC/DC drums, like 4/4 drum pattern, and it's all about what, in AC/DC's case, it'll be the Brian Johnson and Angus Young's guitar part, and they're showcasing their style. In this case, everyone got a piece of the action, and it was constantly like, you could break this song down into multiple different instrumentations and just listen to what they're doing, and the technical ability of this band, really well thought out, well constructed. Not a very accessible song straight off the bat from a hooky commerciality, that side of it, but that's not what this song's aiming to be anyway. This is definitely for me, it's either someone who's really into technical music or a musician's band. I'm more of a casual listener of music. I like to have music on in the background, something I can hum along with while I'm doing stuff, versus trying to analyze it. So this song doesn't really tick a lot of my kind of go-to boxes for a band. Vocals, great. I love the switches up into different sorts of styles, changing from that real kind of clean soulful singing to the guttural depths. Very interested to see this. Obviously, band's got no bass. Now, you don't really need to. You've got 3 layers of guitar, lots of weight. What this does give you is clarity, so you don't get a muddier bass tone when you're doing all these kind of, when you're syncopating with the kick drum parts, with the chugging guitars, and you're trying to go. You've got 3 layers of guitars. That's going to give you lots of weight. Everything's coming through nicely. I was wondering if it was 8 strings, but from what I could tell, there may have been an 8 string there, but it looked more like they were on 7s. Giving you that weight and clarity. 8 strings tend to give you a lot more dirtiness if you're going down to that 8th string, and I thought they might have done that with the fact there's no bass player there. Again, coming back to this song, midsection, it's so random. This piano guitar piece with a saxophone. I would have loved to have been in the room when the conversation took place about having that in the song, because it makes no logical sense in any shape or form for me. I don't understand why it's there. It doesn't do anything to serve the song. And there are 2 things I always think about when songwriting is, what I'm doing, does it serve the song? And what I'm doing, does it respect the song? And that, when I say respect the song, is what did you set the objective of this song out when you started writing it? And if you start going off and just tearing off in an area in a different way, it might just kind of change the vibe of the song. And at that point, unless the song felt like it needed that change, you may no longer be respecting the song, and you may have just decided to kind of, you're almost sabotaging it at that point for your own personal gain. And I don't think at any point that midsection, I think the midsection is the only thing that for me would have been not respecting the song. Now, obviously, it's that band itself, it's their decision, it's their fault, and in their eyes, that completely serves the song and respects the song. From a listener point of view, personally, for me, and again, this is just personal, it's everyone's down to their own opinion. It's an odd break. It's funny listening to it on the first time, but I think if I was listening to this on a regular basis, I would just skip at that point in the song. I would have just finished it at that fade out and got rid of that whole section to the end. And I probably would, on listening, be listening to that, and when it got to that section, I'd just skip to the next track, because even when it comes back in, it doesn't add a huge amount of depth to that last bit of the song. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's some context in here that I'm not seeing or I'm not hearing, but it didn't do anything for me on that point of view. So I think those two things, serving a song so it makes sure it's exactly what the song needs, and respecting the song, i.e. not sabotaging it for personal gain, are really important when songwriting. And when you've got 4 or 5 people contributing, it's important that you're honest with it, and someone comes in with an idea. We do it in Telescribe all the time. We'll write something and I may present a whole song structure to the band. Now I could be really stubborn and go, this is the song, this is what you guys need to learn, this is what we're going to work on. But I throw it out and then someone might come in and go, well, I've got this idea, and they'll completely change a section. I may hear it and feel that's actually not respecting the core idea of where I set the song out as. I had a vibe for a song and this has completely changed it, and I have to try and understand with that person in the band what's going on there. We might try it in the studio and see how it feels, and then it might be a case of, I don't think that's working, but I like where you maybe we can adjust your idea so it better respects the song and serves the song. So we might take their idea, but that's sometimes where you've got to remember that bit for me with songwriting. And that's where I would say that midsection for me as a listener, from a listening point of view, doesn't respect the rest of the song vibe. But it's the band's decision on what they did, and they'll obviously have a context behind it. I would love to speak to the band and ask them about where that context came from, but you never know. Maybe on the ADK Rock and Metal channel we'll get a chance to do that at some point in the future. But overall, I mean, Periphery is always a great band to go and check out from a technical point of view. What they're doing, it's never a style I would ever write music in. It's just, it's not in I've never thought, I like to leave more spaces vocally. I don't like to have lots of stuff going on in the background when the vocals are going on. This one has lots going on, making you constantly juggle, constantly think, pulling you left, pulling you right, yada yada yada. Which is just, I feel, very unnatural for me to write in that way. So I find it interesting to listen to it, and it's one of the sort of ones where if I was doing a musician interview over on ADK Rock and Metal, it would definitely be where I would be talking to them about the writing process, because I'm always really intrigued to speak to musicians about this writing process, to get where their head goes, how do they present and stuff like that. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to do that at some point in the future with Periphery if I get a chance. So you never know, might be able to do that over on the ADK Rock and Metal channel. But hope you enjoyed my video today. Look forward to speaking to you all again soon. See you on another video. Take care.